thanks for the great partnership all of these years. And specifically on IBM Cloud, we've been working together for over 5 years. So I want to talk a little bit about IBM Cloud, what you're seeing. I know, just like me, you talk to a lot of customers. What are you hearing and what are your thoughts?
I think, Raghu, it's good to maybe take a step back and say what's motivating all of our mutual customers, right? I think every customer, actually even more, even those who are not our customers, are all looking to leverage what I'll call powerful technologies as a catalyst to move their business forward. I think the last year and a half has taught us that technology is a wonderful way to be able to scale, to be able to take cost out, to be able to make a business grow, actually to improve the client experience. How often do we get something where it's actually sublinear in cost, it takes efficiency into the bottom line, and it improves the end customer experience? So when you put that together, I think that is what every one of our customers wants to do. And I think when I look at all of our mutual customers, that's exactly what they're looking to do. Now, once they say that, the next thing they say is, well, the two powerful technologies of today are, I'll use the word hybrid cloud and then explain that, and then maybe artificial intelligence. I think those are the two everyone wants to go use to move their business forward. Immediately get into how do I connect the world I have, which is largely private. It's about 75% private today. How do I connect it to the public cloud world, which is the remaining 25%? And that balance is going to change over time. But they need to connect these two because that allows them to leverage all the investment, but also, I'll say, fit for purpose, do the things where they're correctly meant for. And unlocking that gives them that huge advantage to move their business forward.
Now, you've been doing a great job of guiding IBM. So tell us a little bit about what you're particularly focused on with those two pillars, of course, being hybrid cloud and artificial intelligence.
We decided to focus on hybrid cloud and artificial intelligence because we see significant growth in there. We are very focused on giving a hybrid cloud platform, and that is helping our clients actually take advantage of these technologies to improve their business. We've taken all of our software and modified it to run across every public cloud as well as private. We want the expertise, and that part of our business is really going gangbusters on helping our clients move from where they are towards this world of hybrid cloud. Then if we look at some examples, and I think these are all common customers. I'm 100% sure they all use VMware and IBM. Yeah. You take somebody like Verizon in terms of what they're doing for their 5G backbone, and both Hans and Kyle have been really vocal about how the world of virtualization and containers is helping them move forward at a much faster pace than they could before these technologies came around. Or if I take artificial intelligence and I look at what CVS managed to do with the COVID-19 vaccine rollouts, and they leveraged AI to really staff up call centers that handled tens of millions of calls per quarter, which I think is tremendous. Or how Ernst & Young, which is again, I think, a mutual customer, how Ernst & Young uses artificial intelligence to really speed up due diligence as they help their clients through an M&A process. So as you look at these offer so much opportunity, and that is why I'm so excited. And we want to help our clients succeed on these. And it's our role to both provide technologies, but then for those who want help, to give them the expertise to be able to go on that journey.
What a great story, Arvind. I think you talked about a lot of joint customers that are doing great work with both of us. Talk a little bit about IBM Cloud for VMware, the solution that we jointly brought to the market a few years ago, and how you're helping your clients with that solution and some of the joint innovation.
Yeah, so Raghu, it really goes back to the thesis that we've been laying out very quickly over here, that our common customers want multiple public clouds. They want private cloud. They use a lot of VMware already, but they want VMware to be able to straddle these properties. So what we built together was you take VMware from on-premise or private, you stand it up on the IBM Cloud, you build all the tooling that you can begin to connect those, and it really becomes an easy. Because the other thing, other than leveraging powerful technologies, most of our customers, and I think you'll agree, they want an easy button. Come and just
Exactly.
make this easy for me. And so what we built, I think, is one of the easiest paths to take what they have running on their private infrastructure and now have it run on the IBM Cloud. It's such a hot property. If I remember, over 2,000 of our customers have already started using it, and some really big ones, people that we all recognize as daily names, whether it's AT&T, whether it's Bank of America, and we'll come back and talk about banking some more. But in terms of standing up the VMware on the public cloud, let's just say we can offer people a lot of choice and flexibility on all the aspects that they need to make the VMware environment really work seamlessly across private and public. Migration tooling, connectivity tooling, networking, leveraging all of the capabilities within the VMware family. Combined, I'll say a little bit with our expertise and capability around both the cloud as well as our services capability to help move those workloads. And then people always worry about security, of course. And a simple example, we offer FIPS 140 level 4, which is the highest level that is commercially available. We let people keep their own keys, so you don't have to actually trust your cloud provider. And these are simple examples, but that really help appeal to the client set that we care about. Because we mostly, as you know, worry a lot about enterprise clients, people who are often burdened with both regulatory as well as legal burdens. And so we want to help them meet all of those and sort of feel really good about the enterprise capabilities while getting an advantage of the hybrid cloud capabilities provided by VMware on IBM.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so where I see most of our customers being is they've done some of the easy customer-facing applications on the cloud. Now they're focusing their attention on the core enterprise applications and trying to figure out how do we take that to the cloud and how do we modernize it. And our joint value proposition really resonates there. Now, speaking of enterprise clients and security, you've been really focused on the financial services industry as a specific vertical to tailor your cloud offerings. So tell me a little bit about that vertical and what the thinking there is and how you've tailored your offerings, our joint offerings for that industry.
Look, so FSS, or financial services clients, are a really important segment for IBM. Historically, as many people in the audience will know, IBM has a deep, rich, and long business, whether it's retail banking, whether it's insurance, whether it's capital markets, whether it's wealth management. And we are really grateful to all of these clients because they let us provide some of the core systems on which these businesses run. Now, these clients face burdens that are beyond the typical. They face burdens from regulators in terms of security, in terms of resiliency, because financial information, other than maybe health, is the information that is most protected both by regulation and by the institutions that actually do it. By the way, most institutions have a much higher bar than just the regulators. Then you begin to worry about not just regulators, but also laws, because laws will govern. For example, in Australia, in India, in Germany, in France, that certain financial data cannot leave the national boundaries. So now you have to worry about those laws in addition to regulations, in addition to the brand trust. And we can go on and on also about latency and about the co-location of applications. So those clients want an environment where the controls, not just as pure security and alerting and monitoring, but compensatory controls, regulatory controls, are as rigorous for the cloud environment as for their private environments. And so building that for them, so they begin to get, I'll use the word sort of euphemistically, continuous compliance, as they believe they get in the private infrastructure, leveraging the capabilities of the VMware stack, so we can now give them all of those controls for VMware on the cloud as they get for VMware on premise, where of course they control all the infrastructure, so they provide a lot of these controls. So we build them in so that they get the same access to these controls on the public cloud. We believe that is a huge market. We have already seen BNPP, Bank of America, Westpac, and many others have already signed up and begun to use them. Now, the other part that comes, Raghu, which is so exciting, is you can begin to address third and fourth party risk. Because think of all the other ISVs these banks use. If they in turn come onto this cloud, and many of them on VMware on the IBM Cloud for FSS, then effectively the bank can inherit all of these controls, even for those properties. So as opposed to running them somewhere else when it's unclear what these are, this begins to address some of the software supply chain risks that all of these folks run. And that's a huge part of the value proposition.
Like you said, on-premise, there's one of the strengths of the reasons why VMware is used for all these mission-critical applications in a highly compliant and regulated environment is the controls that we have built in with the help of the underlying hardware and surrounding tooling and our giant investments to recreate some of that on your platform, I think is a very, very powerful story. So where do you see the industry going in the next couple of years, and how are you positioning IBM for future success?
So Raghu, it's a great question, and as you can imagine, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. By the way, the best energy I get on this question is from our customers. When you talk to them and you begin to get a sense of where they're headed. And I think the world has really matured in its thinking. I think everyone agrees they're going to use multiple public clouds. You have to, for reasons of resiliency, avoiding homogeneity. Nobody wants to get locked into only one vendor, so there are those. They're going to use multiple SaaS properties, software as a service, for our audience. Many of them, about 70%, are going to continue to use private infrastructure. Think about it. Banks, telecom companies, governments, healthcare providers, whether for reasons of latency or convenience or economics or law. So the world is going to be multiple public clouds, multiple as a service properties, and private infrastructure. Well, that implies hybrid is not a in-between stop. Hybrid is the destination. So if hybrid is the destination, now what do we have to do to make this really easy for our customers? We got to use technology almost recursively to help improve how technology is deployed. Technology has always been wonderful at scaling and doing things. We used to talk about millions of rows, it went to billions of rows, you can now talk about trillions of rows. So technology scales up. But it comes with this added complexity of how do you manage it? How do you really make, I'll call it mere mortals, take advantage and deploy it? And so how do we begin to use artificial intelligence and cloud technologies to really make all of this collection easy to use is going to be where the world is going. So I think it's going to be about a recursive application of cloud and AI into how we deploy. And as that happens, I think businesses are going to consume even more technology, and they're going to use that to scale their own business, and they're going to use that to make their clients more and more delighted. The same as all of us are doing, except the time scale is no longer a decade. It used to be a decade, then it shrunk to 5 years. I think the time scale is now 1 to 2 years. And so that's the journey we're all on. And I think one and two things I'll mention. So if you look at a common big application provider, think SAP. That's exactly what I think the two of us do together with SAP. How can we get my clients to cloud faster? How can we leverage more analytics? How can we leverage more AI? How do we leverage everything they're doing around S4 and HANA? And the other one I can't help but say I'm really excited about, because I think a lot of what we talk about in digital CMOS is coming to an end. I think quantum computing, just for the audience to think about it down the road, is going to be a really interesting area.
Arvind, you're a very busy man. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much even more for the partnership with our joint clients. Thank you.
My pleasure.